Welcome back to the Wilson Brothers channel. I'm David. This is Isaac.
What's up?
We got the Viking here in all of his beautifulness. Today we're reacting to Shia LaBeouf, Mr. Transformer Kid. And he's talking about when does a man become a man?
Mr. Transformer
If you haven't seen
Kid.
him, by the way, on Hot Ones, you should go check it out. It's actually a very interesting episode.
He swears he won't cry as a man. So this is a TikTok I think we found, or an Instagram video. He talks about when does a man become a man. This is one thing we are on the hunt to find out. Are we actually men, or are we on this journey to become men?
When do you become a man? When you get a driver's license? Like, what do we do? You're 16, we give you a driver's license. Okay, well, like, you get a job? Like, when do you become a man? You become a man when you become responsible for other people. And part of that is taking accountability. I grew up in a culture that told me going to war made you a man. Going to prison and coming back makes you a man. Making $1 million makes you a man, you know, and it doesn't.
Pain is passed down from father to son and son to son. We have to, as black men, be mindful of that. Sometimes it's unfair, and sometimes we take it out on those we love. And I'm guilty of that frustration that we all have. But we have a responsibility and a duty to be fathers, not to just make babies, but to be real fathers. And you can't expect any good to come to you if you don't visit any good on your son or your daughter. So, be a man.
You're a man. You are a man. Stand up and be a man. Make the hard decisions. Make the sacrifices. Make the unpopular decisions. And become comfortable in your own skin. And if you are not a person that you are comfortable being alone with, that is the one person in this universe that you have full power, full right, full responsibility to change. Okay?
Ooh. I did not expect some Denzel up in this joint.
Yeah, I forgot he was in the video. That's fantastic.
That's what happens when I don't see it. I thought it was just going to be Shia.
A man of wisdom and revelation. I love the rite of passage of men to becoming real men has died in a lot, if not most of today's world.
Yeah.
Men are becoming, I use this word a lot, they're becoming castrated.
I'd castrate you and marry you in a heartbeat.
Emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
Well, I'll ask you guys the question. When is the moment a man becomes a real man? Because he says it's when you become responsible for other people.
Yeah, the idea of being responsible for other people obviously falls into leadership, right? And in order to be a leader, I think, like, to make it incredibly simple, like the secret of being a man and understanding how to move through the life as a man is understanding that discipline is the cornerstone of everything. Because in order to be disciplined, like Shia was saying, you have to be able to take accountability for everything you do at all times. You can't make excuses for yourself. You know, you're constantly taking accountability. That's the only way you can be disciplined about anything.
Men come up to us all the time when Jordan and I are working together, the Viking, and they ask us, how did we get our physique? Or how are we becoming the men that we want to be? And then we tell them the honest truth. Stop going to the bar.
You got to stop coming here. I don't want to see you again.
Get back in the gym. It's not even just, you know, a friend of mine recently brought this up and she said, it's not just men going to the gym that makes them a man. It's having hobbies like going on a hike with your guys, going to the beach, learning how to fix your car, learning how to become a man of the house that can, if your wife has something that goes wrong, you can fix it. Being that leader that can show up and show off for your spouse, I think, is the real sign of being a man.
But what is the moment a man becomes a man, or a boy becomes a man? What is that moment? Because that's from the video that we just watched. The question is, when does a boy become a man?
I mean,
that moment. When is that moment?
I would say that moment is when the discipline that you start to instill in your life begins to branch out into everything to the point where it starts to garner respect from other people. Other people start noticing what you're doing, start noticing who you are, and you start to garner respect because of it.
A biblical answer to that would be, in Hebraic times, when a man was 12 years old, he would leave his house and get married and he would have to build a house for his wife before he married her. So if he went to the father, he would say, I want to marry your daughter. And his father's like, do you have a place for you guys to live? So as a 12-year-old Hebraic boy or Jewish boy, he would have to go build a house for his wife before he could even ask or get the permission from the father to marry her.
It's like a rites of passage.
Yeah. So how do you become a man is when you build something for others to be involved in or live in, right? And it's not just a physical place. It's a spiritual home. It's an emotional safety to where you're that headship of your entire family. You become the leader that you were meant to be when you have to have responsibility for other people.
Is it marriage? When you become married and then now you're financially responsible for someone?
I feel like that's the best way.
Successful marriage, I would say, is the end result of having all of the facets of being a man correct.
So then you're saying you can still be considered like a man, like a real man before you get married.
Yes.
It's more about your mentality and how you go on life. Can you push through pain? Can you do the difficult things? Yes. Are you lazy? Are you able to be self-sufficient, have your own place? Yeah. Because I feel like in America, the whole thing of someone becoming a man is when they move out when they're 18.
Yeah, no, that's not it.
Well, because a lot of people think, oh, now I'm independent. I have my own job. I have my job. I have my own apartment. I must be now a man. That's why you become an adult when you're 18. But we're still on this journey of discovering what is a real man. And I think, garnering respect from others, not in the way of you're doing all these things only to be noticed. It becomes evident that you are a real man by the respect that other people have for you, by being disciplined, by doing things. But it's a tough question because even Denzel went into detail that we don't need men that are just out there making babies all the time. We need more fathers, right? Yeah. So that fatherhood, that father mentality of wanting to be there and take care of your family is an important thing that we all need to get our heads right.
I think, men, I want to ask you a question. Men, I want to ask you a question. Think to yourself when you're sleeping in bed at night and you're looking up at the ceiling, because we all do it. Why would people want to follow me? Why would people want to follow my life? I'm not talking about just your job or your income. I'm talking about the men in your life. If they're not following you and wanting to respect you and constantly being accountable to you, why? Why are you more of a leader? Are you more of a leader or are you more of a follower? Men will only follow men that they respect. And that respect comes from discipline. So ask the question to yourself and even write it down. Why are men not following me? Why am I not a leader in my community? Why am I not being the man that I know I can be? And that comes with self-reflection. And men today are so busy on social media that they're not doing self-reflection. They're not asking the hard questions to themselves, saying, I'm here, but I want to be here. What is the gap in the middle that can help me to be here? The discipline is more important than just the motivation, because you can be motivated, but that motivation will come and go. It will never be consistent. Discipline is I'm doing it no matter what I feel like. If I can't do it, if I don't feel like doing it, I'm going to do it anyways. So ask those questions and write in the comments what your answers are. I'd love to hear.
What do you think a real man is? I'm very curious because I've heard many guys in my own life and my own circle that say, they will say this, I don't fit the mold of what a traditional man would be. I either have more feminine traits, but yet they're a good father. There's so many different things that a lot of men don't feel like they fit into the mold of what a traditional man is in terms of being super masculine because they're more emotional or this or that. So we're kind of on this journey of trying to discover what is a real man. So comment below and let us know what you think that is.
Yeah, I say just like Isaac, self-reflect and, really dig deep and figure out where your inadequacies lie. If you say, I'm smart, but I'm a little bit fat, or I could work out more, or, maybe I'm not good at talking to people. Maybe I could learn a new language, whatever it might be. Like, figure out things to do to improve yourself, constantly proving. Don't just be stagnant, because then you get too old and it doesn't matter anymore.
Take the self-reflection and the questions that you have and take it to a man in your community that you look up to. Have him review it with you and then create a plan together of how you're going to overcome and do that. Because self-reflection is amazing, but even if you don't have the answers, don't get disheartened. Take them to a man that you respect that has dedicated his life to becoming a father in the community, not just for his own family, but the father in the community that he's asking for. And that question will be answered. It might not be answered right away, but take the time to do it and to do it right.
We've asked a lot of questions. What is a real man? For me, a real man is someone that is always trying to get better and isn't afraid of going through pain, but improving themselves. And also self-reflection, understanding where are you weak, where do I need to get better. Just because if a man thinks he's figured it all out, he doesn't need to improve, then he's going to start declining and not going towards. So for me, a real man is somebody that's trying to get better. For example, Isaac, I will never try to compete with you in terms of crypto business knowledge, because that's why we're partnered together.
Yep.
Jordan, I submit to you when it comes to fitness. I will. You know your biology. You know how to help someone get big and strong, and you're our trainer. So
you physically look strong.
You are.
So I mean,
you're
it's
freaking massive.
The proof's in the pudding, guys.
So I submit to you in that way, right? And then you guys submit to me when it comes to creative stuff. You guys give me a lot of input, and we come up with...
I do not edit any
we
of
come
these
to
videos.
videos.
Yeah, we don't.
You come up with videos together, but I do all the editing. I'm kind of our creative director. I know how to do podcasts. I know YouTube. I know all of that. So how it works is in a brotherhood is knowing where are the other people stronger than you.
Yeah.
How can you work together to get the best goal? Same in a business, right? Being a real man isn't thinking you have to be the best over everybody else and you have to prove it and all this. It's about getting better by knowing where you're strong and where you're weak and how to learn from other people to become the best version you can be of a man. So that's kind of my TED talk on becoming a real man.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of goes into like understanding your weaknesses, taking accountability for where you're inadequate.
Yeah.
And kind of playing off the strength of others and learning how to get better at that as well,
That's why having a mentor is so important.
Because it's kind of like, you say you submit to Isaac when it comes to the crypto stuff, you submit to me when it comes to the fitness stuff, and, we submit to you when it comes to the podcast stuff. That doesn't mean like you boys aren't learning about the fitness stuff from me, and we aren't learning about the crypto stuff from you and the podcast stuff from you. It's kind of like this. We feed off of each other, and we're constantly learning about each other's crafts together.
Yeah, and as we submit to each other and learn from each other, then we add input. You guys give me creative video ideas all the time, or you'll be like, what if we filmed it this way, or add this GIF, or add this and that, right? With fitness, there's been times that me and Isaac were like, what if we tried this exercise? And you're like, that makes sense. Or maybe we should try this or that. With business, with me and Isaac, I'll come up with business ideas. It's the same thing. It's about becoming the best man, but not being afraid to submit in areas you're weak at, knowing that you want to get better there.
You will fail.
You
100%.
fail.
It's going to happen. If you don't fail, then you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, we appreciate you guys watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. We will also have another reaction video right here where Jordan Peterson says you need to become a monster as a man. None of that weak crap. Become a beast. All right? We appreciate you guys. We will see you on the next video.
Peace.
Peace.